guys, how are you doing? Very well. In today's video I am going to be talking about aging tattoos. Now I have been getting tattooed for about 11 years, so I've definitely seen my fair share of aging tattoos on myself. Now how this video come about is from someone in my Facebook group. She said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if Lauren did a video about how our tattoos have aged? Her name was Lana, I believe, and I was like, yeah, I'm all for it. There is a YouTuber called Nibbles, I'm sure you're very aware of her, but she did a video like this recently, so I kind of reached out to her and was just like, hey, is it alright if I kind of somewhat take your idea? So full credit to Lana who suggested the idea, and Nibbles who has done a video like this recently. I'm going to quickly talk about a couple of my tattoos. I have too many tattoos to fit in one video, we'd be here all day. There's a few that I wanted to talk about. The first one that I want to talk about is the one that has, in my opinion, changed the most, and that is my pumpkin one here. When I got this, I think I got this in 2012. Yeah, 2012, so that's 6 years. When I got this, I've always referenced it to looking like a temporary tattoo. It was so vibrant and so bold and just in your face. It was loud, okay? And 6 years down the line, it's lost a lot of its colour. The orange is not as bright. The blacks are not as bright either and bold. They're very, very patchy. The green has lost a lot of pigment also. And there's little bits of line work missing here and there. I believe it's because of the location, because like where it is, I kind of lean on it quite a lot, if that makes sense. So that's like wear and tear, and it's under my elbow also. But yeah, I'm not one to get touch-ups. I don't personally like getting touch-ups. I like when a tattoo looks lived in and a little bit aged and loved, so to say. So that's not to say I won't in sort of like 10-20 years time, but I'm not like super anal about it. I'm not like, this tattoo is fading, I need a touch up right now. I have too many tattoos for that. I would be in a tattoo studio every day. Well, okay, not every day, but you know what I mean. That's one that I wanted to show you the differences of. One that I've actually got recently, I think it was this year, so it's obviously not aged that much. But this skull one, a lot of you comment on it. This one is still so fucking loud. This hasn't settled in at all. And what I mean by settled in, it's still got that like new fresh tattoo look to it because the colours are so pigmented. This yellow is crazy. Like, it's so bold and vibrant. I had yellow in this tiger tattoo, so you can see the difference. I got this also in 2012, I believe. So you can see the difference here. Like, this is from this year, this is from 6 years. This has definitely not settled in at all. It's still like, hey, I'm new, notice me, alright, I need the attention. Another one that I want to talk about is my lipstick tattoo here. Again, I think, oh no, when did I get this? 2000, oh no, this isn't that old actually. I think I got this in 2014. Yeah, I think I got it in 2014, so this is 4 years old. This is missing quite a few bits here and there as well, especially in the flower region, so where like the, what do you call that thing? Like the pollen would be in a flower. The line work isn't that great, it's a lot of ink has come out of that. The yellow isn't as vibrant, I mean, compared to this yellow here, but this yellow will turn the same yellow as my lipstick tattoo eventually in a few years' time. And yeah, it's not as vibrant and bold, but again, I love it. I won't get a touch-up for many, many years until it really starts getting decrepit, but that's the good thing with traditional, like when they age, it still looks like a very decent upheld tattoo, if that makes any sense. The other one that I want to talk about is my craft tattoo. It is a black and grey tattoo, but it's not like realism black and grey where it's just shaded or whatever. It's literally the colour grey. So the colour grey on me has turned a little bit yellow. It doesn't look awful. I still obviously love it so, so much, but I'm just letting you guys know that the colour grey has gone a little bit yellow on me. And there's little bits of yellowness to that tattoo as well, because there's quite a bit of white in there also. But overall, it doesn't look bad or whatever. It's just the way tattoos age and stuff. I think that's every tattoo I want to talk about. I've got plenty. I will definitely probably end up doing a part 2 to this video, because I put out a post 4 hours ago and I've got comments and stuff like that, but I feel like they're going to keep on coming, so I'll probably do it like another part to this and I could talk about more of my tattoos in that. So what I put in my post on my Facebook group earlier was, hey, I'm here for another request. I'm always asking people for stuff in my Facebook group, like not like money or things, I mean like stuff for videos. And I said, Lana posted earlier this week suggesting I do a video on how your guys' tattoos have healed in the past 5 years. So if you have any photos from when you first got a tattoo about 4 or 5 years ago or older, I feel like it takes a good sort of 3-4 years for a tattoo to really settle in, like fully, you know, settle in, look like skin. Well, it can take about a year, but you want that aging process to sort of take effect before you make any judgments or whatever, in my opinion. Anyway, so I said if you've got any tattoos that are about 4 or 5 years old or older, and a picture of how it looks now, that you wouldn't mind me putting in a video and talking about it. I won't be roasting the tattoo at all, I'll just talk about how it's aged. For example, the line work has blurred out a bit, some of the ink has fallen out, etc. So just make sure you're comfortable with that. I wanted to make sure people were comfortable with me sort of nitpicking their tattoo. I'm not going to be roasting it or talking badly about the tattoos or anything like that. I just want to point out things that happen when the tattoo ages. Is part of this whole thing that I do on YouTube about like tattoo education. It's important to know that tattoos don't look the same from when they're fresh 4 or 5 years, 10 years down the line or whatever. When I was younger, I always thought tattoos looked the same across the board. Like as soon as they're on your skin, that's how they look for the rest of your life. And that's obviously not the case. But when you think of tattoos, you think of how permanent they are, and you think that permanency, is that a word? Permanency? Like the permanentness lasts, which obviously isn't the case. It ages and ink falls out, but it's good to let people know that. Anyway, oh, there is a spider just like attached to something and it's just floating in the air. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, so I've definitely got a good few amounts of comments on here. You guys are always super helpful, and I'm kind of happy about that. Like, you're willing to sacrifice your tattoos for me to dissect and help people in the future with their tattoo choices. So thank you. So yeah, this one is from Emily, and this is such a cool tattoo, by the way. I really like this tattoo. But this is like a skull illusion tattoo, which I love. I love a illusion tattoo. It's definitely a cool concept. But this is the Tattoo Fresh. So as we can see with the Tattoo Fresh, it is very bold, very vibrant. The colours are popping, good saturation in there. So this tattoo was done very well to start off with, okay? So then if I flag up the healed picture of what it looks like now, which is 4 years later, as you can see, the colours aren't as vibrant, as bright. They have definitely settled in a lot. There's also a few bits of line work missing here and there. It happens because ink just kind of comes out, or you knock your skin. Like, you know, when you give yourself, like, I don't know, a paper cut, or you bang your arm or whatever, you can get like scars from that, and it can take the ink out. It's just like wear and tear. It's like having a leather handbag. Think about it like that. Your skin is like a leather handbag, and like if you knock it, if you scuff it, you can damage like the skin of the leather handbag, and you can get scuffs and whatever. So if you think about tattoos like that, like if you scuff it, if you damage your skin, sun damage as well is a big key factor with this. Like, sun can fade your tattoos to no end, and that's what the sun can do to leather. Also, they can, you know, fade leather chairs in cars and stuff like that. I believe, I could be wrong. But yeah, always think of your skin like a leather handbag. You have to look after it, and obviously that's hard, you know. Everyone has accidents. Everyone forgets their sun cream sometimes. But with this, because the style of this, I'm gonna say, is traditional. Yeah, we're gonna go with traditional. Traditional really does hold up very well, and even though we've lost the saturation here in places, it still looks like a decent tattoo, you know. So we've got one here from Laura, and it's a science one. I don't know what it means. I didn't do well in school at all, especially with science. No, this is why I sit in front of a camera, okay, and just talk and edit. That's what I'm good at, okay? Well, kind of good at. I'm just looking at her fresh one, and she's got like that rash. I had the exact same irritated skin when I got my first tattoo here, the butthole star. I had this big rash around here. It was just like irritation. It's not like a rash. So she's got like a simple black work, line work tattoo, which is something that is going to hold up for a long time because that line work is nice and bold. It's not a single needle, it's bold enough. With line work tattoos like this, the lines do blur out. No matter how big or small or whatever the needle is, eventually once your skin starts aging, the lines do blur out. It's just the way your skin stretches, ages, whatever. So we can see that with the heel picture. This is a 3-year difference. So the lines have blurred out a little bit, not too much. Again, it's only 3 years. It can take, you know, a lot longer than that. Other than that, it's held up very well. It's still very readable, legible. You can see what it is. It hasn't blurred out completely where you can't see anything. So we've got the HO there, NH there also, like I can read it. The font is quite small, but it's still readable, which is good. So next one we've got here is from Ida. I hope I'm saying your name right. Ida? Oh god, I'm butchering that. I apologise so much. But what Ida has here is like a, I'm going to say realism. Zero outline, but there's a lot of depth and highlights and, you know, contrasting colours and stuff like that here. And then this is the tattoo 5 years later. So in comparison to the first one, there is quite a few bits of ink missing here and there. The depth of the tattoo is kind of lost in places. The saturation and stuff like that has come out a little bit. Also the detailing has been lost a little bit. This is what happens when you don't have black outlines. You do lose the detailing of the tattoos. So if I was to put a black outline around this and around the stem of the leaf, you would be able to see it a bit better and it would have aged a little bit better. But not everyone wants big black bold outlines, and I understand that. Everyone else kind of needs to start understanding that. At first I didn't. I was just like, oh, you need black outlines and all this jazz, and I was just like, oh, traditional is the way to go. But at the end of the day, not everyone wants big bold tattoos. Not everyone, it's not to everyone's taste, etc. So I'm not going to roast her for it. We're not going to roast her for it. It's her personal choice at the end of the day. But that is why tattoo artists and some other people are so hell-bent on saying, hey, you need black outline, because it just keeps everything held together. Okay, so we've got a few from Becky here, but I'm just going to choose one. I think it's fair just to have one per person, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I might come back to the rest of Becky's anyway in another video. But what we've got here is, oh my god, well first of all it's adorable because hi, I love dogs, but we know that. So for Becky's tattoo here, we have a black and grey realism portrait of a dog, which is so fucking cute. Oh, it's 11 years old. Oh gosh, that is healed so well. Anyway, jumping ahead, so sorry. So this is 11 years old. This is the tattoo fresh. And what we've got here is a lot of deep dark shading. There's not many outlines in this also, but that is very normal with a realism tattoo. There's barely ever any outlines used unless it's for like a detailing situation of something, I don't know. But then if we look at the tattoo healed, now this is 11 years and this is held up very well for a tattoo with zero outlines, and for realism also. And I feel like the softer look of this tattoo is a lot better, if that makes sense. Like, that's not me bashing the tattoo or anything, I'm just saying I think it looks nicer when it's healed. So the detailing in the face has definitely softened up a bit, but I feel like that adds to the characteristic of this breed of dog. Whatever this breed of dog is. I feel like it's some kind of like Chihuahua or something. I'm getting that wrong. But yeah, there's not really much to say about this one. There's a few little chunks missing out of the eyes here and there if we really zoom in, if we really want to be picky. But I would say this is healed very nicely, and for 11 years also. That is not bad. So the next one we've got here is from Christine. She has this sort of line work geometric watercolour tattoo. The picture of it fresh is from 4 years ago, so she's had this tattoo for 4 years. And then if we look at it healed, it's healed very, very well. I'm going to say it has healed very, very well. There's always this sort of speculation as to how a watercolour tattoo will heal. The thing is, we don't really know, to be honest, because watercolour tattoos haven't been around for that long. You know, they've only come about in, what, the past 10 years maybe? I'm not entirely sure, in all honesty. So we don't know exactly how it's going to look in 40 years time, because they haven't been around for 40 years. It's not like traditional where we know, you know, in 30, 40 years time it's going to look kind of the same, it's going to look aged, but you can still figure out and make out what it is, because traditional tattooing has been around for many, 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 many years. I'm sure some of your grandparents have traditional tattoos from, you know, being in the army or navy or wherever. My granddad, I've never met him unfortunately, he died before I was born, but he had tattoos on his, what do you call this, forearm. Obviously never knew what they looked like. I saw them kind of in photos, but I couldn't really make out what was going on. You know what photos are like back in the day, like from the 70s and 80s. I couldn't really figure out what was going on. But yeah, they've been around for many, many years. And we've seen that, you know, with black outlines, things hold together, that it's a lot more readable. And with bolder colours, it's a lot more readable. So if you take away the black outlines, nobody's really sure what's going to happen. There's obviously examples of healed tattoos with no outline like we saw earlier. Without the black, the detailing is taken away. But with watercolour tattoos, it's meant to look messy and splashy. It's meant to look like a watercolour spill, so to say. So if things do blur out and merge together, I feel like that would just add to the effect of the watercolour style tattoo. Who knows? I don't know. I'm indifferent about watercolour tattoos. There's one part of me that says, yeah, you need a black outline around that. There's another part of me that's like, well, no, it's like part of the style. Things start blurring and merging out, and that's the same as like a watercolour, you know? Like when you spill paint everywhere. I don't know. But this has healed up very nicely. That green and blue and red is still very, very saturated. And to me, it does look like someone spilled paint everywhere. I love it. I think this has healed up nicely. And as for the geometric part, the line work, black work, it's healed nicely. There's a few, just like the tiniest little bits missing here and there. Overall, it's healed very nicely. The next one we've got here is from Hannah, and she has this lightning star tattoo. It's very unique. It might be from something, but I've never seen it before. I don't know what it is. It might, yeah. I'm just thinking it might be a logo or a band logo or something. I'm not sure. Or it could just be a really cool creative design. So this tattoo is 9 years old. So the fresh one, you can see here, it has a lot of line work in there and shading around the star. If we look at it healed, some of that line work that's in the sort of shaded part has got a little bit lost in there, which can happen. It's sort of, everything's blurred out. And this tattoo is 9 years old, so that's almost 10 years. So that's when you really start to see the difference from the new tattoo to the old tattoo. And you can definitely see the contrast between the two of them. So yeah, you're missing that sort of line work. You can sort of see it in places. The other thing that is very noticeable is how much the colour has changed. Now black never stays pure solid black. It always turns either like a greeny black, a grey black, or a bluey black. I don't know why that is, honestly. I'm sure someone can tell me, but that's just the way the tattoo ages, and with your skin and the colour sort of fades out and whatever. It happens. No black tattoo stays solid black over many years. I mean, you may have a 10-year-old tattoo and it still looks very black. That's cool. It just depends on each person's body and how they've healed, etc. So the next one is from Caroline. It's 6 years old. So this is it fresh, and she did say, I must admit I haven't been kind to her. I don't blame my eyes at all, but I'm crap with sunblock. See, this is one of the things that happens, like, it depends per person on how a tattoo heals. So you can get someone that is very, very strict with sun cream, moisturising, exfoliating, you know, and their tattoo can look not that old. But then you have someone like, kind of like me, I'm not like the most anal person when it comes to sun cream, especially if I'm only going out the house for like an hour or whatever, and I know that I might not be in the sun that much, but I might end up being in the sun and then I don't have sun cream with me. It's one of those things, it's life. That's one of the factors to take in when it comes to looking at healed tattoo. You don't know the story behind how the person looks after their skin or whatever. You can't really judge, if that makes any sense. So it's good to know, you know, Caroline's story. But yeah, as we can see from the healed one, in comparison to the fresh one, the saturation has definitely been toned down. We've lost quite a bit of the vibrancy within the yellow and the blues. The line work has held up pretty nicely. It's faded just a little bit, but in all honesty, I quite like this soft touch that it has. It adds to this like majestic feeling that this tattoo has. Yeah, it's one of those things, and if Caroline wanted to have a touch up on this, she could do if she wants to. That's the good thing about having tattoos or whatever. You can go back in and, you know, go at it. The next one is from Lizzie, and she has a lizard. I like that. But this tattoo is 4.5 years old. I don't know why I said 4.5. That's what she wrote, but I could easily just say 4.5 years. Like, my brain does not compute. This is just a simple black work lizard, so that is it fresh. So the only difference here is it's managed to keep its shape, so to say. It's definitely blurred out a little bit, but that's going to happen with black work tattoos. So what we're missing really is just a little bit patchy, and that's exactly how my first tattoo looks. I've got like patches missing from it, and with my hand tattoo also I've got patches missing from it. I think it's like one of those things, like when I had my, oh, should I admit this now that I have more new followers type thing? Like I don't think the last time I mentioned this, it's been a while, but I had a tribal lower back tattoo. It was your typical lower back tribal tattoo, and there was chunks missing out of it. With tribal you definitely notice that there is chunks missing out of it here and there because it's solid black work, and it's the same for when someone gets like a blackout sleeve. They probably have to do a good few passes to get it solid, which is understandable. It happens, like when your tattoo heals, the ink comes out of it here and there, and like I was saying earlier, your skin's like a level handbag, sometimes you're going to knock it, etc. But other than that, I'd say this is, you know, a standard healed black work tattoo. Okay, I think I'm going to do a couple more because I feel like this video might just drag out a little bit too long. So the next one is from Erica, and this is, I'm not going to say this right. I know I'm not going to say this right. I think this is Ganesha. If it's wrong, I apologise profusely, but I think it's Ganesha. So this tattoo is 8 years old. This is the picture of it fresh. As you can see here, it's very vibrant and blue and bold, and there's a lot of detail within that tattoo. So if we look at it healed, the tattoo has actually managed to keep a lot of the detail, which is awesome. Also, the blue is still very, very blue. There's not really much patchiness going on here at all. I mean, the blue has calmed down a bit, but in my honest opinion, and I don't mean to insult Erica or anything like that, but I actually feel like this tattoo healed looks a lot better. But again, this is coming from someone who has the opinion of, I like the way lived-in tattoos looked, so just remember that. I just feel like it looks nicer healed, especially like the smoke. I'm guessing that's smoke that's going up around there. So it was pink before, but it's now sort of turned like a skin tone colour. I actually like that. So you have lost the pigmentation there. I personally like that. I really do like that. Okay, so the next one is from Brittany, and this is a 10-year-old tattoo. So we can definitely see the difference here. So she's made me a collage. So I'm guessing the one on the, hang on, left. I don't know my left and right. But the more vibrant one is it when it was freshly done. And as you can see with the healed one, so we've lost a bit of saturation, especially in the wings of the owl. Basically anything that's blue has sort of been squashed down a little bit. It's not as vibrant as it was. The purple is definitely withheld, and the yellow has surprisingly held up as well. Yellow is normally one of the first colours to sort of diminish and, you know, fade because it's closer to a skin tone colour. So any colours that are close to black are going to last longer, because black is the most longest lasting colour when it comes to tattooing. So say dark green, dark purple, dark blue, they're going to last, but pastel colours and, you know, yellows or whatever, they're going to be the first colours to fade. And I'm not talking in like 5-10 years, I'm talking like 30, 40, 50 years here. It definitely takes a long time for colours to sort of break up and disappear, but we've had a bit of a break up, disappearing situation with the blue of this owl. Now this looks like it's on a foot as well, which foot tattoos, hand tattoos have the hardest time lasting because you're continuously walking. You have shoes and socks on, or just shoes or socks or whatever on, and that is always rubbing on your foot also. So that's another thing you have to take into account when looking at healed tattoos. What is the placement? You know, what is the wear and tear? So hand tattoos also, you're continuously using them. They're out in the wilderness a lot more than any part of your body, and you're always like, you know, like I am now, touching them, rubbing them, washing them. The same with feet. You might have sweaty feet, which is totally okay. You know, I get sweaty feet. I get very warm feet. So the next one is from Natasha. This is the tattoo Fresh, and this tattoo is 8 years old. In all honesty, it's held up very, very well. It's still very, very legible. This is what I meant by black work sort of blurring out a little bit. The lines get a bit thicker, so you can definitely see the difference. What the tattoo looks like now is definitely a lot thicker than what it was before, but that is to be expected. So that will be the last one today. I will probably make a part 2 of this because a lot of people have put their time and effort into taking pictures for me and stuff. So, and I think it's interesting to see different styles and how they've aged and how different placements affect how a tattoo ages also, and it's good to discuss these things. And yeah, I hope you guys are all doing very, very well, and until my next video, bye.